Hey, thanks for tuning in to Talks with Tony, where I have the opportunity to answer real questions from real people about real life. Now, today's quote of the day is, negative people need drama like oxygen. Stay positive. It'll take their breath away. Let's go to our first question.
Hi, this is Denise calling from North Carolina, and my quick question is, I was engaged, and during engagement found out that he was seeing someone else. So, I pray and I believe God, and God has something better. But my question is, how do you turn the questions off? Because you'll be good for 10 days, and then on the 11th day, the questions will come. What did she have that I didn't have? Why did this happen? How do you turn the questions off? Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking that question. And that is a very good question. And I hear it a lot because we all battle in our minds with self-doubt. And you question and you wonder, am I not good enough? Why did this person come into my life and decide to walk away? Now, what you have to do is you have to answer those questions. You have to sit with yourself and you have to go through those questions. And sometimes if your answers aren't good enough, then you may need to work with a professional. And it may take about 3 or 4 sessions. And you go through and you ask them the question. You already have your answer. You ask them the question. You hear their answer. See, we try to run from the pain. But when you try to run from the pain, when you try to hide it, when you try to drown it with music, you try to drown it by going out with the girls, going to the movies, going to the lounge, hanging out, staying in church all the time. The longer you run from it, the more time you waste because it will never go away unless you confront it. So sit down. You may have to write a letter to him. It may be a letter that you just write to get it off your chest, or it may be an actual letter that you send to him, or that you set on fire and watch it burn. You choose the way you use that letter. Then you may have to write a letter to yourself and write out those questions that are on your mind and write the answer out. And at the end of the day, what I want you to know is that you didn't lose the person for you. If you lost love, then it wasn't real love, because what's for you is for you and no one else can take it. So she gained her man. You didn't lose your man. And you have to get past this so that when you see your man, which could be tomorrow, you recognize him because you're ready, you've healed, and you are in expectation of real love. So don't hold on to the past. Get ready for what's coming next. That's a great question. Let's go to our next.
Hey, Tony, this is Emmanuel Grandison calling out of Oceanside, California, and I just wanted some advice. I'm currently in and out of a relationship. It's kind of awkward. I'm in a relationship, but she wanted to take a break because I played a prank on her, and I wasn't thinking about how she was feeling, and I played the prank, and now she's not talking to me. She asked me to give her space, so I'm giving her space, but she also took everything out of her bio. She took the pictures down on social media, but she said she didn't break up with me, so I need advice for that. Thanks, man. Bye.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for asking that question. And I'm hoping this is a real question and this isn't a prank on me, but this is, I think, the first time in all of the questions that I've heard since 2007. So in 10 years, this is the first time I've heard this question. And so it's very interesting. Now, what I would say to you is we don't always understand how people receive the things that we do. And so it could have really hurt her. It could have really embarrassed her. But at the same time, when you love someone, you have to ask yourself, how bad of a prank? So if I came home and my wife was in the bed with another man and she said, this is a prank, now I have to leave. But anything less than that, and she's done some really bad stuff, really bad stuff to me, which I really did not like. It upset me. I was angry. I didn't understand why she would play a game like that. But because I love her, it's not something worth taking a break over. We have a real conversation like, look, I know this is funny to you, but this is not funny to me. I'm okay with some jokes, but we're going too far. And I'll express that, and her and my oldest son, they team up on me, squirt ketchup and mustard all over me, spray olive oil all in my hair. They really abuse me. But I have to, take it, deal with it. And that's what you do for someone you love. So for me, to be honest with you, it sounds like she maybe has been feeling some other things, having some reservations about the relationship. And this is, a good escape. This is a way to take this anger and say, hey, we need a break. I need to question this whole thing anyways. And if it's not that deep, then guess what? Just give her the break. And the lesson that you need to learn is you have to learn how to speak her love language in a way that she appreciates. You also realize now what she will not tolerate, and that you can't get away with pulling, cruel jokes on her. And then you have to ask yourself, are you okay being with someone who doesn't have your sense of humor? For some people, that's a deal breaker. They want someone who they can share a sense of humor with. If you feel like it wasn't that bad and she's being uptight and she's overreacting and it really upsets you, then that could be a sign that you all are not compatible in that way. I honestly, if she's doing it for the right reasons, if she's standing her ground, if she's trying to send you a message to say, look, I will not tolerate this because this is like borderline abuse in my mind, like the way it sent me on this emotional roller coaster, I'm not mad at her for doing that, And I believe, just like behavioral science teaches, when you see a behavior you don't like, you have to stop it and you have to redirect it. And then when you get on the right path and you apologize and you agree that you won't do it again, then she can reinforce that new behavior. But that's a good question. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that. Great hearing from the fellas. I need to hear from more fellas. Let's go to the next question.
Hi, Tony. My name is Jackie, and I'm from St. Louis. And my question is, am I being selfish if I'm interested in a guy and I'm immediately turned off if I feel like if I want to go on a date and we're just getting to know each other, I don't feel like I should be part of a harem, like if he's dating all other women and all of that. I think it should be one woman at a time. You eliminate as you go on. If it don't work out, you move on to maybe somebody else or whatever. I'm single, he's single, but I have an issue I have an issue getting to anything if there are a lot of other women involved. Am I being selfish? Am I being selfish as far as, is that starting off wanting a relationship? Because I really don't want a relationship. I want to take things slow, and if it happens like that, it happens like that. But I don't think I should just allow myself to be involved with something if it's a whole lot of other women and he has all these options. Then that immediately turns me off. So I hope you get a chance to answer that question. Thanks a lot. Blessings.
Thank you so much for asking that question. Now, here's what I would tell you. For one, when you're in this stage, it's kind of like a game. A lot of people, it's like the love games and similar to the Hunger Games. And you can't get mad at someone for playing the game differently than you are playing the game. Now, if he is bringing it up, which it sounds like that he's talking to other women, he's dating other women, then that's dumb on his part. Because when you're dating, you shouldn't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. And as long as you're not having sex, I am okay with you talking to different people. And you may be doing the wrong thing by putting all of your eggs in one basket because you say you really don't want a relationship, you want to take it slow. So if you want to take it slow, that means that you're wasting time in your life dealing with one guy and you're going slow when you could have 2 male friends or 3 male friends that you aren't sleeping with, you're talking to, you're having normal conversation with. And then if one of them kind of takes the lead in the dating area and you say, you know what, I can see this guy a little differently. And now you give him more attention, and now you start to kind of drift away from the other guy or the other two, and you've slept with none of them, then you're not losing. And I want you to know that every man you date, you're one of two or one of three. And when I say every, I don't mean 100 out of 100, more like 99 out of 100. But finding that one may be very rare. But most men will never tell you that he's dating you and someone else. But people don't like to put all their eggs in one basket. So me, when I was in the dating field, when I met my wife, I was also courting 3 other women that I had just met. Now, one of those women went 1 date, another one went maybe 2 or 3 dates, another one went 2 dates, and another one didn't get a date. And so after doing that, I realized my wife was the one. I cut off all the others, and then I focused completely on her. And that's how most men date. So you may not know it, but that's pretty much the case with any guy you talk to. You're not the only woman that he's texting or having a conversation with in most cases. And so what you have to do, and this is to every woman, is if you want a relationship eventually, you just have to worry about you. And you just be the best person that you can be. And know that you also have the right to be friends with other guys. Remember, no sex is involved. You shouldn't be sleeping with 2 people. You really shouldn't be sleeping with 1 person if you're not married to them. So, but you have that right. But you can't expect him to relinquish his rights when he's single and he's looking around and he's meeting people. But the fact that he told you, the fact that you know about it, that's a red flag. Because when a guy does that, if that's the case here, what he's trying to introduce you to is his game, to say, look, you are one of many. You're an option, not a priority. If this is how I'm starting our courting relationship, and I'm letting you know that you're one of a few, yes, I'm talking to other girls. You know, I date other girls and, see other girls, go out with them, take them out on dates and things like that. He lets you know that. He's basically telling you that there's a good possibility this will continue. And even if we become exclusive, I still may tip out here and there. But that's a guy who wants to diminish your self-worth. He wants you to feel less about yourself. He wants to put you in your place. He wants to keep you in your place so that he can look down on you. You can look up to him. And that's a red flag. So be open to dating. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's okay to talk to 2 people, or 3 people. As long as you can manage it and you're not getting too emotionally connected and you're not calling Tom Jerry's name and calling Jerry Tom, then it's nothing wrong with it, and the same thing the other way around. Now, when it gets exclusive, that's when you cut off the other people. You really start to focus on that person. You really start to court, and you build from there. That's a great question. Let's go to the next question.
Hey, Tony. This is Mike from Maryland. From Maryland. I wanted to ask 2 questions. The first question is, how will you know if a woman is interested in you? And the second question is, what do you do when you're in the friend zone, or what do you think about the friend zone? Thank you, sir. I hope you answer my questions. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mike from Maryland. I really appreciate that. Now, when you are dealing with women and if you have a woman to compare her to, if you've ever been liked by a woman before, there's certain little signs she will give you. She will kind of leave a little opening in the conversation to where you will feel and you'll be able to sense that she's into you. I always tell people, if you have to wonder, then it's not there. If you have to wonder, then it's not real, because we send messages to the people that we really like. And if you're saying right now, well, that's not true because I really like this guy that I'm talking to and he doesn't have a clue. Well, guess what? That's your fault. And you're doing it the wrong way. Because as adults, if you like somebody, you should open up and let them know, or at least allow them to be able to read into your attraction for them. If you are stone-faced and poker-faced, but deep down you really like them, then you're being misleading and you're also gonna miss out. So if she has, put you in the friend zone and you don't really know if she's interested in you, there's a possibility that she's not interested. And when it comes to the friend zone, there are benefits to friendship. There are no benefits to friends with benefits. But there are benefits to friendship. And the reason being is because when you are friends, when it's genuine, you build through communication and conversation. So you are making love, essentially, because you're falling in love with her. She's falling in love with you as a person. So it's benefits to that. Now, if she has made up in her mind that you're just a friend, then you have to be okay with that. And you have to decide if you want to move on with your life and date other women, see other women, or if you just want to be the right guy and wait for the right time. Most of the time, guys, we fall for a woman in our mind and she's overlooking us. If she's put us in the friend zone, she's overlooking us. And then we watch her go through heartbreak after heartbreak, sometimes 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4. And then eventually she has this epiphany and she says, well, what about Mike? He's been there. He's seen everything. He's seen my pain. He's seen my tears. He's seen me snot from my nose. He's seen when my hair is a mess, when my skin is broken out, and he's been there, still the same guy. And she starts to hear from everybody, you should give Mike a chance. You should give Mike a chance. A lot of time, when you finally get it, you realize you don't want it. You finally get it. In my coaching experience, a lot of times when people go from genuine friends and they had no intention of being together, and then they get together, it's a disaster. I can't pinpoint any examples of genuine platonic friends later deciding to be a couple and it working out beautifully. So if you're going to be friends, there still should be some intention on dating to where you both agree that you're attracted to one another and you can have something, but you're building on friendship. So be clear. And in my very first book, What Daddy Never Told His Little Girl, which I don't recommend. I wrote it when I was 22, so couldn't afford an editor, but it was so raw and real. One of the questions that I answered was, can guys and girls be friends? And I said no. All women said that's not true because I have a lot of male friends. But we as men, just like you're asking, Mike, we know that in a lot of cases, if we're single and we're available and we have a female friend, the only way she is, genuinely and truly a friend is if we have absolutely no attraction to her whatsoever. She is the complete opposite of what we don't like. And even in some of those cases, we still fall for that woman and want to be intimate with that woman, or we'll build with that woman in an intimate way just because we love who she is on the inside, even though we didn't like the way, she appeared to us in the beginning. So I want the ladies to understand that this guy that you are saying is your friend, if he's single and he's there for you, he's supporting you, there's a good chance he likes you. And you all may need to have that conversation to get things out in the air. And Mike, you should have this conversation with this young lady and let her know you like her, so that way she can go ahead and let you know that you're in the friend zone and that you're a friend and that you're a great person, but I don't see you like that, Mike. I see you like my brother. And when she tells you that, guess what? You got to own up to it. You got to deal with it. You got to accept it. But ladies, understand, don't string this guy along, using him, crying on his shoulder and all of that, and not really letting him know that he's a great friend and you see him as only a friend. Because this is where things get messy, feelings get hurt, guys get impatient, start to resent the woman, and then you get your opportunity and you break her heart because you've seen her get her heart broken before. And subconsciously, you start to feel like this is what she's worth, this is what she's accustomed to, and then you end up taking advantage of her too. So have a conversation, have a real conversation, and then be ready and willing to accept what you hear. Be ready to move forward if it's being a couple or if it's making up in your mind that you two are just platonic friends. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take one more question.
Hi, Tony. My name is Nicole. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I have a question. I was with somebody for 2.5 years, and he ended it with me and got back with somebody who he had a child with 20 years ago. So I was just wondering what makes a person leave a 2.5 year relationship for somebody he just got with from childhood, well, he was with from childhood, and then go back to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. We spoke about this, I believe, earlier in another episode where I was talking about soul ties. So a lot of times when we are with someone and we are sexually active with that person, you can form a soul tie, which is like a spiritual bond, a spiritual connection to where you really connect on a heart level, spiritual level. You can form that without having sex. Now, when you have sex, it becomes even stronger. You take a piece of them with you. They take a piece of you with them. And when you think about what sex is, I mean, you are literally laying down with someone and two souls are coming together to create a third. And so this is a very powerful experience that a lot of times we take for granted, and we have this term casual sex when there is no such thing as casual sex, because anytime you lay down with someone, you're getting up with something. You're taking something with you. So what happens here is when men go back, and sometimes even women, just humans, when we go back, it's because it's something that's familiar. It's because there's a soul tie there that we never broke. We never got beyond that. We never got past that person. The pain that we felt that we don't understand, the pleasure that we felt that we don't understand. We try to move forward and go on, but we end up comparing every new person to that person from our past. And the reason why is because we have a soul tie with that person. And unless we identify the pain points and we get counseling or coaching or therapy in those areas, and we gain clarity about what transpired in that relationship, we remain a victim of the pain of a relationship. And we try to move forward with it, and we try to sweep it under the rug, all of the thoughts, all of the feelings. And what happens is you eventually trip over what you have been sweeping under the rug. So he's with you for 2.5 years, but he still feels a tug from that soul tie with her. He feels familiar with her. And it's something that he feels is unfinished business. So he wants to go back to that first love. And to be honest with you, you can't compete with that. You can't compete with that. He may turn around 6 months from now, a year from now, and be knocking on your door and say, you know what? I had to try it one last time. I had to give it one last shot, but I realized that it's not what I thought it was. And then you have a decision to make. Or he may build with her and really get complacent and then come back to you to see if you'll be the woman on the side, to see if you'll entertain him even though he's with her and you have a decision to make. So be prepared for him to make his return. And if he doesn't, just know, just like I told the other young lady, you didn't lose your man. She just got her man back. Thank you so much for calling in. Remember, if you have any questions, I'm no guru, I'm no expert, just another person trying to share some insight. And I'm going to be doing this. I'm receiving thousands of messages on social media, so I just wanted to be able to grab a few of them, answer them, and hopefully it can help multiple people at once instead of me trying to answer 1,000 messages one by one, typing my fingers to the bone. Make sure you subscribe so that when we release a new episode, you'll be notified. Do not forget to subscribe. Don't just watch, join the community, leave some comments. And like I said, me not being a guru, I don't know it all. So if you heard me give an answer and you have some personal experience, leave it in the comments. Leave your question or your comment in the comment section so you can help other people build and grow. At the end of the day, no matter what I say, no matter what anybody else says, you have to be able to look within and listen to yourself and do what's best for you. Thank you so much. God bless you. We'll talk soon.